Ooh, Full Metal Universe, I've got a tasty one for you today. You know this man here. I'm sure you've seen him in the EFC ring, cage, whatever we're calling it nowadays. But this man is also a media personality, striking in singlets with a person that looks exactly like him. And we've got here Kelvin, the Destroyer Flyweight Smith. How are you doing, my man?
Very good news, Sheed. Thanks for having me on. This could be epic.
It's always lovely chatting to you, Bobby. And now we're seeing that you've got a new fight announcement. You want to go into that a little bit?
Yeah. So straight up, fighting on next week's card, EFC 114. Catchweight. Yeah, sick. Catchweight fights up against God knows in Bellevue. So it's a little short notice, but we're ready and excited to take it. Yeah.
Oh, wow. God knows. So how are you feeling about that? We've seen a little bit of stuff about MK. He's very vocal on the socials. He was supposed to fight you. What happened there?
Yeah, so I was supposed to fight M16 in March. I had a pull-out sick with an ear infection. And then we actually got that for EFC 114. They accepted and all of that. And then they ended up pulling out. So God knows, in on short notice on an already short notice fight. So we'll see what happens with that. His team's talking about August. So if it's what the EFC wants to do after July, that could be great. Kind of interesting. I might be fighting 3 months in a row then. So that's pretty epic.
That's beautiful. We love to see you active. And for me, as a fan, I think that the flyweight division and the featherweight division is probably the two hottest divisions in the EFC. So how do you feel being in such a competitive division in the EFC? And do you think it bodes well for you going international? I think it does.
100%. So you're hitting the nail on the head right there. The stacked divisions are the best. You get the most action, you get the most skills, you get the most exciting fights. So it's a great thing. Activity though can be stifled a little bit, but it looks like that seems to be changing for me. So really pleased with that. And then international, as you're touching on, who knows? Maybe September, October, we find me on an international card.
Yes, baby. That's what I love to hear. How are we looking at the Dana White Contender Series? Because I've been saying it for a very long time that there's a big gap in the flyweight division in the UFC and internationally. How are you feeling? Because we're seeing a lot of South Africans. We're seeing Turbo Pumi doing great things overseas, training with Aljamain Sterling. And obviously this fight now between Tumelo and Terence. How are you feeling about that?
Look, I think it's great. They're getting the division moving on a little bit because I think based off of the last event, we were only looking at a new title shot like early next year. So now that there's an interim bout, immediate, and then looking to unify against Zulu later this year, that speeds it up quite a bit. So that's very exciting. Dana White Contender Series. I'm not too sure about that. I do agree with you. There is a gap in the flyweight division, but I haven't had a look at that yet. So my goal is to get to 4-5-0, then start looking maybe UAE, Brave, that kind of thing, just testing, and then depending how we do there, then go to Dana White after that. That would be the goal. Looking at a 5-6-0,
I think that's beautiful, man. And I love the way specifically you look at your career very, very analytically, and I see your media presence is very prolific. You have, unfortunately, your podcast, there's a couple of technical things happened, but you did have the biggest combat sports podcast in South Africa, as I know it. And it's really amazing. So can you just give us a little bit of insight into that media mindset that you have?
Yeah, so touching on that, one of my first jobs, I actually worked in the media space. So I do understand the back-end production quite well. And then as a fighter, I know what the fighters are wanting to be asked and what they're not wanting to be asked. So getting that across and balancing that quite quite well. I think that helps. I don't think we were the biggest just yet. I think we were getting close, but we've restarted our channel and we're growing quite well. It's taken a little bit of a back burner just with some things that are happening in the background. Joel's got a new job. I started camp for July and then now short for June, so it makes it all a little bit more difficult. But we pretty much back in it from next week, and excited to go from there.
Hey guys, if you're not watching, liking, sharing, subscribing, what the are you doing? Who the are you? Why? Exactly. Hit that subscribe button right now, and then go into Striking and Siglets and flip it, hit that like and subscribe button, and then go on Instagram and tell your mom to follow as well, because I don't know what the hell you're doing. Because guys, I actually just have to praise your guys' content. I think it's brilliant. It actually inspires me to make better content, to try get better interviews with the fighters, just to promote you guys and to see what you guys are doing. It's really beautiful, man. I'm a very, very big fan of what you guys are doing, and I think fighters should take a huge leaf out of your guys' book, because I think this is the way of combat sports now, is to make yourself a personality, and you're certainly doing that. So you were talking a little bit about Brave. What are you thinking about Brave? What fights are you looking at Brave, man? Let's talk about that a little bit.
So I haven't had a good look at Brave's flyweight division, but back when I was going to Worlds, obviously I wanted to do well there. I didn't do as well as I wanted to, but that was the goal, to get straight into Brave. I feel like that is the next step up from EFC. I don't feel like Brave's talent is as good as the EFC. So a lot of the guys that come from EFC immediately go into Brave and immediately start doing well, and start knocking on title shots. So that could be quite a nice way to get more international exposure and more international footage. So that would be great. With Nkosi defending, I feel like they should be bringing Brave back to South Africa sometime soon. If they do that, hopefully they do get some of the local fighters on the card.
Yeah, and then I'm going to be your corner man, because I don't know how I'm going to get into Brave. No, man, I think that's beautiful. And do you have any comments about the UAE card? I saw a good amount of South Africans there. Some people that I'm sure you've had good relationships with, maybe even trained with. Can you give us a little bit of insight?
So, funny enough, all the guys that competed on the card, I've never trained with them, but I do know a bunch of them. So when I checked that they had like 5 or 6 South Africans, I was like, guys, like, why aren't you asking me, kind of thing.
Right.
So we'll see. I think they did notice that comment. We'll see what happens with regards to that. But for now, I just want to stick through the next 3 months, make sure I get my wins, and then we'll have a look. So flyweight division is kind of interesting now, especially with Salah being on my team. I mean, he's got some good matchups coming up. He could be looking at a title shot very soon, and possibly before me. And if he does get that, then you got like an Ego Rudy Roots situation happening in the flyweight division, which could be quite fun as well. So very excited with what's developing there.
And now you're touching on your team, Pandemonium. Let's go into that. You have got some killers in that gym. You've got Patrick, you got Alistair, you got your brother. Can you just touch on that family-based team? I'm loving what you guys are doing. Can you touch on it a little bit for us?
Yeah, 100%. So I'm pretty much a new team. Not really. We kind of just rebranded. So we've been training together now since January under Pandemonium. We've got a bunch of pros, which is great. The pros in the gym are, so it's Salah, Patrick, Johan, Nick, myself, and Alistair. So we got I said Nick. So we've got a nice mix of pros. What's really nice though is the mix of guys that we have come from different backgrounds. So we've got kickboxers, we've got jits boys, we've got straight up wrestlers, we've got boxers. So you're getting a whole different look every time you're sparring, which is quite nice. It's translating quite nicely into the cage as well. I think we've got one of the highest win rates this year out of the gyms, which is epic. I mean, the last card we had 3 Oaks fighting, 2 first round finishes, and 20 seconds into the second round finish. So yeah, we're doing really, really well. And that's on the pro side. On the amateur side, it's a whole nother story. Yeah.
Yeah, you could touch on the amateur side as well. I love what you guys are doing. We must get your brother in here as well, and then we can do a trifecta. You can talk about the pro side. You can go into nicely about the amateur side. But yeah, please touch on the amateur side for us. I see you guys going into verses and everything.
Yeah, so amateur side, we've got a few top level amateurs, and then we've got a bunch of juniors entering the space as well as youth. One of our guys actually just became the African champ for youth featherweights today. So that was really great. And then we've got, I think it's 3 guys flying out tomorrow to compete, 2 in the juniors and 1 in the seniors. So yeah, we got some really, really top end amateur guys. We got a bunch of medals at nationals. And then you're mentioning versus, I think we're pretty much like a home side team at versus now. Like everyone knows the gym, everyone supports us. So that's quite nice too. I think we've got
that. Yep.
I think my brother's got a title shot next. At
love it.
At versus for the flyweight, and then I know TJ's looking to fight, so that would be great if he can get on the card. KB just had his first amateur fight. He is a national kickboxing champion. He just fought 9 versus and also won in the second. So yeah, really, really exciting. Really exciting on the amateur scene too.
Woof. I'm loving it. It's real pandemonium out there. You know what I'm saying? But I love what you guys are doing. And I cannot have you on my show and not pick your brain a little bit about what's happening in the UFC. So we're seeing this title shot between Islam and Dustin. I think it's not going to go past the first round, man. What are your predictions there? What are your analytics? Give it to us.
It's tough, man. It's tough. So I think it's probably going to go late second, third round. That's where I think we're going to see a finish. I have a feeling that Dustin Poirier is going to retire either way. But I do feel like the matchup is a lot better for Dustin than it looks like. Islam's striking is definitely better than Khabib's, but if Islam can't get Dustin down, Islam's getting knocked out. So
right,
100%. So, man, underdog, the diamond on his way out. Love to see the win, but I feel like Islam will control him on the ground a little bit and just land a little bit too much damage and get this up. I don't see Dustin getting the guillotine.
The gilly.
But I do see a world where Dustin drops Islam and then looks to capitalize. But gets a little bit too excited, so we'll see. I think I really think it's an even fight. I don't think it's as contrasted as the media is making it out to see.
But it is Dustin's last shot. Like you're saying, if he does get either way, I also do see a retiring. And so let's go for that fictional situation. Dustin wins. Dustin, he vacates the title. We've got a vacant lightweight title. Everybody's scrambling. What is the first fight you are making for the title?
Me.
Yeah, what's the first fight? You're going to make that title, vacant title. Dustin's just retired. What's the first? Retired. Yeah.
Lightweight. Islam's on a suspension because he's been knocked out.
He's been knocked out, yeah.
Look, I go OG, man. I get Justin and Connor in. I go for Connor Michael. I feel like that would be the marketing thing to do because those guys are also nearing the end. And that will bring in some eyes and some money. So I think I would do that, and then go from that and see. But that's
I love that.
If I was a matchmaker, that's what I would do.
I love that, man. That's why we got to start doing way more chats. We're going to do prediction chats, everything, guys. If you're not liking, following, subscribing, you're going to be missing out on this amazing content here. This man knows exactly what he's talking about. And now we have to dive into a little bit of Strickland Costa. Now this, for us as South Africans, is very close to our hearts. Voting is tomorrow, guys. I hope everybody is getting it in there. Now we're talking about the middleweight division. Strickland, Costa. What is going to happen? I think Strickland takes it, and then he's coming for the title shot again. What are you feeling, my homie?
Sure, I don't know, man. So when I'm looking at it now, their records are pretty much identical, except Strickland is literally double everything of Costa. So double the losses, but double the wins.
Mm.
I feel like Costa's got power.
Right.
I feel like Sean's going to respect him a little bit more. I think it's going to be similar to the Dricus Sean Strickland fight. I just feel like on the feet, Costa's got a better chance with his kicks, the spinning wheel kicks and the timing. So
I mean, look at that kick that he did to Robert Whittaker. Boom! Right there, bro.
Yeah. So I do see a world where Paulo gets the TKO. If Sean wins, I don't see him getting a TKO. I think it will be decision and, again, just sticking behind the jab. But I do see a world where Paulo gets a knockout in the second, or TKO. I do see a world there.
Guys,
if I had a bet, I'm going to put money on Paulo. I'll put money on Costa.
I love it. Guys, if you're not watching this and Paulo wins, hey, you just lost out on some good money, yo. That's what I'm saying. Hey, this man knows what he's talking about. I have to say it again because the athletes and the fighters is why we're here. This is why we're liking, sharing, and subscribing. And you better be jumping on Striking and Singlets. Please do, guys. And this man right here, he's fighting soon against God knows. If you are not on it, if you're not with it, if you're not supporting, why the hell are you on this channel? Why are you even watching this video? Get off, stop watching, stop watching. Guys, it is always an amazing chatting to such amazing fighters. I have got a lot of love for this man right here. And I just have to say, thank you very much, Pop Soda, to you, Kelvin. And when I do see you again, I will have a little gift for you. Awesome. But thank you again, my homie. And we are out.